It is okay to live the life that you wish for. You're allowed to create your own destiny, free from the expectations of your parents and society. You can live the life you yourself think has meaning. Even those around you try to dissuade you, saying, "You can't, you mustn't, it won't work." They are not living your life for you, are they? Many people who try to forge their own path or strike out for uncharted territory come up against strong opposition. If your timid heart wonders, "Is this really okay?" have the courage to smile back at your heart and say firmly, "Yes, it is." Even if you fail, you will learn from your mistakes and try differently next time. Besides, it is better to experience failure while you're still young. As long as you are prepared to take responsibility for the consequences of your choices, you can follow your heart. Wouldn't you want to grasp the wheel of your life and live as the master of your own destiny? I hope that you can break free from self-imposed limits and discover the courage to finally change your life. There are times when things are going well for you, and people offer you unsolicited advice in the name of love. They tell you to think about financial security, marriage, your future. At such times, do not be shaken. Just keep walking the path you have chosen, like the steadfast march of elephants. Don't assume another bus will be coming. Sometimes the route will be changed, and you will never get another chance to catch the bus you missed. If an opportunity is presented to you, don't give in to your fear. Muster your courage and get on that bus. If you've waited for someone to show up and change your life, and they still haven't appeared, don't wait any longer. It probably means you need to become that person for yourself. When you feel like relying on somebody else, remember, there lives a far stronger and wiser being inside you than you imagine. Ask yourself, what are the values that guide my life? What do I want to achieve in my life? If the answer is clear, you can live more confidently knowing your life's direction and that you are not mindlessly following the herd. If you just go along with the crowd without trying to figure out what you really want to do, you'll likely wind up striving to succeed in a highly competitive profession. Then after several years of stress and struggle, you might become depressed from continuing to fall short in auditions, job interviews, or qualification tests. There are more than 30,000 kinds of jobs in the world. If you want to succeed, be more self-aware about your values, interests, strengths, and limitations, and explore professions beyond those you are familiar with. You won't regret taking the time to do this. When you try to learn something new, you will inevitably feel embarrassed in the process. No matter how respected you are in your own field, you will be treated like a kid and corrected every time you do it wrong. If you cannot stand to make mistakes, you will never be able to learn a foreign language, a sport, a musical instrument, or how to drive or cook. If you don't feel like studying, start with the subject that you like best. If a meal looks unappealing, start with what looks tastiest. It's all right to start reading a book from the section you want to read. Starting is often the most difficult part, but once you have started, it is much easier to continue. New ideas often come from margins where people question and challenge the norms set by the mainstream. Rather than lamenting that you are an outsider, use your unique position to your advantage and create something original and interesting. Excessive thought won't solve a problem. Rather than trying to fix it by thinking, set your mind at ease. A solution will rise to the surface. Remember that wisdom comes from stillness. When you have too much to worry about, ask yourself, am I solving anything by worrying? Because of your worries, you are missing out on the present. If your worrying is not doing any good, say to your anxious mind, if what I'm worried about actually happens, that's when I will worry. Are you suffering from anxiety? Try prioritizing your worries by writing them down. If something you're worried about hasn't happened yet, put it at the end of the list. Worry only about the problems you're facing right now. You can cross the bridge when you come to it. Thinking too much can make it difficult to act. If you just do it, then it is done. But if you give in to your thinking, your mind will get in the way, telling you, you can't, you shouldn't, you don't want to. In that case, get up early in the morning and just do the thing you've been putting off. If you give yourself a time to start thinking about it, inaction will take hold again. And if it's not perfect, set aside and move on to the next thing. The idea of perfection exists only in your mind and may not be the same for everyone. Before an exam or interview, always remember, you know so much more than you think you do. Our unconscious contains an ocean of wisdom. Have confidence in yourself. Distinguish between the things you can control and those you can't. For instance, the past cannot be undone. You cannot control what other people think of you, but you can control what you are doing right now. The way to be free of worry and anxiety is to focus your attention on the present moment. Do not be afraid of making mistakes. Be afraid only of not learning from your mistakes. An expert is someone who has acquired skills and knowledge by making a lot of mistakes. We have become accustomed to sacrificing the present for the sake of future. We consider it a matter of course that the present just has to be put up with until one day the bright future arrives. We have overlooked the importance of enjoying the journey while prizing only the destination. But in the course of our lives, there comes a time when we begin to doubt whether this present that we are enduring will ever lead to the future of our dreams. Even if the dream comes true, will it be worth the sacrifice we have made to our relationships and health and happiness in order to achieve it? And what if the dream we achieved was never ours, but that of our parents or teachers? What if we were just measuring ourselves against society's yardstick of success? Frustration and failure are part of life. If we do not flee from them but accept them calmly, we come to know what we need to do next.